Hello, everyone, and welcome to the program where everything is up for discussion. You've got me, Jeff, alongside the lovely Shannon.
Good evening. Good afternoon.
Yeah, where are you, Shannon?
Good early evening. How are you, Jeff?
Oh, we're good. We're good. If you guys are joining us for the first time, thank you so much for joining us. This is the show where we just about tackle any subject on the planet.
Pretty much.
And this week is no exception to that. We are going into a very deep and important topic, which is love is love. And we are going to touch on the LGBTQ community with our friend Dale LePage. And obviously a lot going on there and a lot going on with you over at the bakery these days with Shancakes. It's wedding season and you're kicking some serious
big time wedding season.
There. What's going on?
Not much, just making wedding cakes all the time, birthday cakes all the time, still doing graduation cakes all the time.
And these things need like building permits, for God's sakes. I mean, I know. I've seen some of the stuff going out of your door, and they just keep getting bigger and bigger and bigger.
Tiers.
I don't know when the building department's going to show up and start assessing you additional fees soon, but my goodness.
Yeah, we had 5 tiers on Saturday, and it was a big cake tiers. Over there at Mountain Shoes.
And you know, the funny thing is, you were asking me to deliver the 5-tier
I know,
cake,
you didn't want
and you said, yeah, it's just a little wedding cake. I go up there to Mount Watchers.
I didn't say it was a little wedding cake.
I said, how many tiers is it? I says, and he said 5 tiers. I said, that's about 4.5 tiers too many for me to deliver. That's all you. Have fun.
You could have done it.
I don't know. It's so hot these days. You know, it's
that's the only thing that stinks.
The weather is not helping this at all.
No matter what you do to prepare yourself, it's very difficult to deliver cakes in this weather.
But we are definitely not going to complain because it is summertime, and this is like ice cream for dinner weather.
It is. And I gotta say, I'm loving this new bubblegum looking giant blob here.
You like that, huh?
On the microphone.
Like
I've got my own pink microphone cover.
Yeah, we want to make sure that you were all girly-girled out over there, right? Don't make it look like a penis.
I wasn't.
What are you licking it for?
Because it looks like candy.
It's candy. Well, you just got like old men now, like reaching for the defibrillator everywhere watching this shit.
No. It's in my peripheral vision and it's bright pink.
No, now it's in everybody's peripheral vision.
You know how like
right?
you wear a red clown nose and it's in your vision?
Yeah.
I feel like I've got the pink clown nose going on.
Yeah. It looks like it. It looks like it. When you put it there, it does. Let me get a close up of that. Hold on. Let me see if I can get it close. Guys, can you zoom in on that? All right, here we go. There you go. This. You are something else, that's for sure.
Yeah,
all
if you put a red one there, it's even more convincing.
Yeah, I'm sure. But we have a lot to get to in this show, including the Who Does That with you, Shannon. So we'll be right back.
Best.
Stick around. Oh, yeah, when you hear that music, it can only mean one thing. It's that segment of the program when Shannon Sylvie asks, who does that? And now, ladies and gentlemen, I give you Shannon Sylvie.
Alrighty, guys. Thank you for tuning in for our discussion. The best part of the show right here is mine. It's called Who Does That? Where I bring you 3 crazy stories that are really true off the internet. And true because they're always happening in your neighborhood or to someone you know across the United States or in the world. And they've all been like, yeah, I heard that on the news, but I can't believe it.
Or
scratching
even
your head.
in Canada, even.
Or it could be Canadian.
Could be Canadian.
That's when you'll hear me say, that's Canadian.
But that's not Canadian.
So this story comes from New Zealand.
Okay.
We haven't done too many stories from New Zealand. An Egyptian kebab shop owner in New Zealand has become an internet hit after a video of him ignoring a would-be robber and continuing to serve a customer went viral.
You're joking,
drawing
right?
more than 250,000 views. I do have a video provided.
All right, let's
Jeff, this is priceless. The man's name is Said Ahmed, owner of the Egyptian kebab house in Christchurch, New Zealand. And it was simply a lucky reaction, the guy says, to ignore the masked man who walked into his restaurant on May 28th, demanded cash while holding what appeared to be a large gun.
Wow. Oh, my gosh.
Ahmed, who has run his shop for 15 years, continued to bag up an order, as we see there in the video, handed it to a customer before walking away to call the police. Attempting to leave the robber, exiting empty-handed. The robber is just like,
so he just gives up.
what?
No way. There he
Unbelievable.
You just screw it. Give up. That's beautiful.
Canterbury police released footage of the incident on Facebook last week in a bid to identify the would-be robber. The 27-second clip has since drawn 255,000 views and has been shared more than 1,000 times.
All right, so there it is right there. You cannot even get customer service in this country when you're waving a gun at a clerk. He's like, yeah, I don't care if you got a gun or not. You're not getting my attention until this guy gets a sandwich. What is wrong with customer service in this country? When the robber has to, like, just turn around, he just gives up. That's it. He's out.
Customer service in this country.
That's all. It's a big problem. It's just a big problem. Wow. Who does that, Shannon Sylvia?
Who does that?
My goodness. All right, interesting. What else you got there, Shannon?
I have a story from Lithuania.
Okay, which is?
It's all about goats.
It's not Canadian.
It's a bad story.
I'm sure it is.
A Lithuanian village of Ramigala held its annual beauty pageant on Sunday. How does this have anything to do with goats, Jeffrey? The top prize is going to a 16-month-old female goat called Demit, or a Little Spot.
Looky there.
Around 500 people braved the summer heat, Jeff, to attend the parade in honor of this goat, a traditional symbol of the northern village. The pageant also includes a marching band, dancers in fancy costumes, and a king and queen presiding over the ceremonies.
All about goats.
It was the first time for Demit's owner, 74-year-old retired veterinarian Ferdinand Petkevicius. Quite a Lithuanian name.
I'm sure it is.
He won the competition after 6 years of trying. The only thing that we didn't do to prepare the goat for the pageant is we didn't polish its nails because we thought it was just too late.
Yeah.
As he said that, holding the leash of the winning white goat with black spots, who was decorated with 2 roses on his head.
Oh my gosh.
6 goats.
All right.
Decorated with flowers, were paraded on a red carpet before a jury compromising of the local member of parliament, the head of the local school, and a cucumber farmer. Those were the judges.
Okay.
Parliament.
You know, it's good that they have a vast array of education and dialogue
Very diverse.
and all that stuff there. I mean,
Yeah.
you go right from Parliament to the cucumber farmer.
Parliament, head of a local school, and a local cucumber farmer.
That's pretty much covering the
Several
whole gamut.
contestants stubbornly refused to walk and were instead carried by their owners. Cakes, jars of honey, books, and coupons for a haircut were awarded to the winners' owners before they walked their goats from a by then generously stained red carpet.
Wow. Eesh, who does that? That is disgusting.
It's right up there with the Hungarian grave digging ceremony.
Where is Jim Brewer when you need him? That's all I gotta say. The goat man.
Last but not least, Jeff, we have an incredible story. This has just ballooned into unbelievableness.
And one might even say it has a local flavor to it.
This has a local flair. This story hails out of Leominster, Massachusetts.
Oh, boy.
Where that might be?
And why might that might be?
Not Canadian. In fact, it's right here in our town.
Oh, boy.
So the Tonight Show might have actually helped solve this case, Jeff. After 2 masked men robbed the Knights of Columbus, which we all heard about because there were plenty of GoFundMe and fundraisers for this event.
Yep.
They were robbed $1,400 while the game was in progress on the night of October 22nd last year.
Scumbags.
We all knew about it.
Yep,
City
we all
police
heard about
detectives began months-long investigation to find those people responsible. Did they find their people responsible? No.
No, they did not.
But Jimmy Fallon had actually joked around about it on one of his shows. It cultivated when arrest warrants were issued for Stephen Nutting, 40 years old, of Water Street. Yes, we know Stephen Nutting. Rubel Spence of West Street and James Newborough, Leominster, Grafton Street. Each had been charged with unarmed robbery and larceny over $250, according to court documents. The investigation actually included assessing surveillance videotape of the businesses in the area of the Knights of Columbus on Hall and Lancaster Street, interviewing those at the hall at the time of the robbery. It must have been kind of scary.
Right around the corner from the palatial LTV studio.
Right around the corner.
Right around
local retailers had to be alerted on the lookout for anybody. And usually a large amount of $10 and $20 bills for purchases being spent there, according to the narrative of the investigation. The break came, according to investigators, when a man was arrested for a Fitchburg robbery on November 2nd, told a Fitchburg police detective that he learned who had robbed the bingo game a few days after Fallon made a joke about the robbery during his Tonight Show monologue.
Imagine that.
Fallon joked, police in Massachusetts are looking for two men who stole $1,400 from a cash box at a bingo night. They say the men were last seen driving west on I-90.
I-90.
While mimicking a bingo caller. I like Jimmy Fallon.
That was enough to get attention, right?
Yeah. Fitchburg robbery suspect, according to investigators, told detectives that after Fallon's joke, Newbro told him that he, Spence, and Nutting were the ones that Fallon was joking about. Oops. The Fitchburg robbery suspect also told investigators he believed it was Nutting who waited outside the Knights of Columbus Hall in a getaway vehicle, and that Spence and Newbro went in and took the cash box from an 87-year-old man who tried to keep the thieves from making off with the bingo receipts, which were kept just inside the building's entrance. Poor guy.
Oh, boy.
It's also believed that Spence and Newbro may have visited the hall the previous week. Witnesses to the robbery told investigators that two men who were unfamiliar to the regular players had played bingo the week before the robbery. Their descriptions of the two men were similar to Newbro and Spence, with whom law enforcement officials are very familiar.
I'm sure they are.
So they've been charged in the robbery, as well as Cumberland Farms and Electric Ave. And according to court documents, the other guy has outstanding warrant on assault and battery with a dangerous weapon. These guys are real winners. So now they're all pretty much sitting in jail waiting trial.
Who does that? And only one question you can ask yourself, Shannon, is...
Are you on Thorazine?
I mean, my God.
I wonder if Jimmy Fallon is now making another joke about this whole thing.
Let's hope so. Let's hope so.
You know,
Those dumbasses
these
deserve
guys
to
were
be
caught because of Jimmy Fallon, and now
Sure.
Jimmy Fallon can really talk about it.
Yeah, really. And
Unbelievable.
Now, of all the other attributes that Jimmy Fallon has, he can add Crime Stopper to that list of talents that Jimmy Fallon has. Isn't that great?
Unbelievable.
All right. Well, great job there on the Who Does That, Shannon. And when we come back, I had a chance to sit down with our pal Dale LePage, and we'll get to that and more on Up for Discussion Live. Stick around.
Up for Discussion with Jeff and Shannon Sylvia. We'll be right back. Stay tuned.
Welcome back to Up for Discussion. You may recognize this gentleman to my right. He was the host of This is the Nightlife right here on the network. I am proud to be involved in this very important new project of yours. Dale LePage, welcome.
Welcome. Thank you for having me.
You better believe it.
It is not my production, it's our production.
It is.
Jeff Sylvia said to me, if you can dream it, we can do it. And that is exactly what we have done with New England Pride TV.
It is an exciting project. It is a necessary project. Now, I want to go back to the beginning for those that may not know you very well.
Well, I was born on not that far back.
Not that far back.
Okay.
We're going to skip ahead just a little bit. The concept for this, the importance and the awareness of this project came up for you when?
About a year ago. I've been trying to get this project to happen about a year ago. I was interviewing a couple on This is the Nightlife, and I realized that as I was talking to them, they had been a long-time married a couple, two men. They own a wonderful travel agency, and I'm looking at them and I'm interviewing them, and I thought to myself, you know what, they'd make great guests also on an LGBT television show. And I tried to support the community as much as possible, because we've got so far to go. We've come a long way, but we have a lot further to go. Especially since what's been going on recently.
Sure. Well, let's back up just a second. Now, the project itself, New England Pride TV.
Right. It came to me while I was interviewing them, and I thought to myself, you know what? They'd be great on an LGBT television talk show. And I researched it. I Googled it. I Googled New England LGBT community and television show, talk show. Nothing came up. There was like one drag queen had like a YouTube kind of thing, but it wasn't a television show, and it wasn't really a talk show, the talk show format I was looking for. And I was really just blown away by the fact that it didn't already exist. I mean, I still can't believe that we created something that didn't exist. We actually, here with you, made history for New England.
We sure did.
We made New England's first LGBTQ television show, talk show.
Amazing.
I mean, that's incredible.
And like you, when you said this was a first of, that it hadn't really been done before, I said, it's crazy. It should have been done.
Did you Google it too?
Should have been done a long time ago.
Should have been done a long time ago.
Couldn't find anything.
Couldn't find anything, right. I was stunned, and so I called up our wonderful host here, Mr. Jeff Sylvia, and I said to Jeff, I said, how would you feel about doing an LGBTQ television show for me, with me? And he said, tell me when and where and what can I do? And it's that kind of support that drives the creative force in everybody. You need that kind of support. I don't know anything about the technical aspect of it. That's where you come in. You're that guy. I book the guests and I interview, and I make some bad jokes. But there's also some very serious topics on the show too. And for those of you who are watching this who don't know, LGBTQ is a lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, and questioning. The Q does not stand for queer. It stands for questioning, because there's so many people out there who still haven't found their way yet, aren't living their authentic selves yet. And this is for them. It's a show for everybody. And we've gotten the most support from our allies, our straight allies, like yourself, who are like, what can I do for you? How can I help you? How can I make this better? How can we help this situation out? And the show, New England Pride TV, is reaching people. It's reaching people in a very positive way. We're on I think our fourth episode will be premiering in August. 3 have already aired, and we got a great review from the Boston paper. We get tons of great press, and the reporters who do interview me also can't believe it didn't already exist. So that it seems like a no-brainer. You know?
It does. It really does. And your outreach has grown considerably since the project started.
Over a million strong so far with kids.
So when you say New England Pride, it truly is
all of New England.
All of New England.
Yeah, I mean, it goes out to, I can't even tell you, from here to the Cape to Connecticut, Rhode Island, New Hampshire, Vermont, Maine. I know I'm forgetting a bunch of and everywhere in between.
Everywhere in between. This is such an important project because of its authenticity, because of its origin, because of what's going on in the world today. This is something that now has come into the forefront and needs to be addressed like this. It needs to be supported like this. And it sure is. It's wonderful to me, Dale, to see the support that has come to this show from all walks of life. It has just come from everywhere. The love that surrounds this show is what makes me most proud.
It is incredible. I don't want to pretend like I don't get hate mail, because I have gotten a couple, right-wing nut jobs who want to see me in a puddle of blood in a parking lot. But the positive far outweighs the nut jobs.
Sure.
Yeah. Can I read this amazing one?
Yeah.
We've gotten, I'm going to be completely frank. We've gotten 3 fan letters so far, which is not bad since we've only had 3 shows. And they've all really touched me because they're stories like this. And this is just one. Dear Mr. LePage and New England Pride TV, I've never written a letter before, but I felt I had to let you know the difference you are making with your show. And we are watching. Don't think we're not. Coming out to my divorced parents is the hardest thing I've ever done. Coming out to my parents after the Orlando massacre made it that much harder. I am not out at my school yet because I felt it was probably the best thing to come out to my parents first. Though they are loving and supportive, I still dreaded the fact that I might be disappointing them in any way. I'm going to cry right now, but
Wow.
I saw your episode where the woman transitioned at age 65. That was our first episode, and the woman being interviewed was Grace Stevens, who is a motivational speaker and an author, and just was such a wonderful soul. I am 14 years old now and don't want that to be me. I do not want to wait 65 years for people to love me for who I truly am. After I came out to my parents, I was met with love and understanding and hugs that seemed to last the entire evening. And though I did not sleep at all that night because I knew my world would be changing, I've never been ashamed of who I am. But sometimes I just get worried that questions I will be answering won't be answered right by me. And when I'm coming out to my school in fall, I will be coming out to my school in the fall, And a few of my very close friends know, but only very few. Thank you for having New England Pride TV. We are watching. Your friend Kathy. I'm sorry, I'm actually crying right now.
Wow. That's what it's all about. And no matter who walks through that door, be it you, high five here, Mr. Carlos.
I mean, I started this show because
it's important.
when I was growing up, I mean, I grew up in a small town called Templeton, which is close to the studio. It was a great place to grow up. It was a wonderful place to grow up, but it wasn't a great place to grow up gay. I mean, is there such a place? Maybe now there is in 2016, but back in the 60s, it wasn't the place to be. So I moved to Worcester, which is the closest city. But we've come a long way. We've got a long way to go. They're actually trying to. It was in the news today. They're trying to bring back conversion therapy. Do you know what conversion therapy is?
Just by the name, I'm repulsed.
Yeah.
I don't want to know because it's about as asinine as the name sounds.
Right.
It's crazy.
Because there's nothing wrong with you, no matter who or what you are.
No, and you know what? We were talking about this earlier, and whether it's hatred for the LGBTQ community, whether it's hatred for a specific religion or anything like that.
A race, yeah.
Anything.
Yeah.
I'll tell you, there is many more of us meaning folks that love our planet,
who are positive,
love our country, love each other as human
Yeah.
beings, that want to do good in the world. There's a hell of a lot more of us out there than there is those asshole people.
I like to think so.
So why are they herding us around like sheep and controlling everything? It is shows like this. It is the awareness that comes from people like you that bring it out there that is going to help that change. And that's what we're hoping for. That's what we're driving for. And that's what needs to happen.
We've got some great guests coming up, too. The next show that airs in August has a woman named Lori, who is the head of Safe Homes. And Safe Homes is a wonderful haven.
Oh, what a great idea that was.
Where kids can go and be with like-minded children. I think it's age 14 to 20. I think it is. I don't remember what you said, but check out Safe Homes. It's a wonderful environment, supportive, uplifting, and they can find you. They can direct you to the help you might need, and you can just be around people without being in a threatening environment, and it's a safe place to be.
Non-judgmental.
Yeah.
Lots of love.
Lots of love.
And perfect example of what can happen outside of those doors that happen inside of those doors.
Right.
If you're just joining us here, my guest is Dale LePage, who is the TV show host and co-founder of a very, very important TV show, and I'm going to go as far as to call this a movement of sorts.
All right, I love that.
It is New England Pride TV that is represented right here from the LTV studios here in Leominster, Massachusetts, and produced by the two of us. We are very, very proud to be part of this project.
We do have a great committee behind us, though.
And we have a wonderful,
Tina Billings,
wonderful
Chris
people that are
Jello,
helping.
Joe Mengicotti, John Troba. There's so many who are helping.
And that's really what I was going to, is that this is certainly something that has not only caught fire with our fans and people watching, but the help that we are getting behind the scenes for this production is overwhelming.
It is overwhelming.
And it is tough
Wonderful.
to talk about without getting emotional, because the folks that are doing this for such a great reason, and for so many great reasons.
This is a volunteer. This committee is a volunteer basis. The people on this committee, they do it out of the kindness and goodness and love in their hearts, and that's a lot to ask, because everyone's so busy nowadays. They've got their jobs, their children's, their homes, their families, and they do it out of the kindness of their hearts, and they find time to help this project.
Where do you want to see things a year from now for
With the show?
New England Pride TV?
I would love to see the show get even a further reach. I know it's called New England Pride TV, but I would like it to be picked up in different states, because kids, families, adults everywhere need to see some of the segments we have on the show. We've got a wonderful part of the show called Listen to the Lady, most famous drag queen in New England.
She's tremendous.
Lady Sabrina. And she does an advice column, and it's so well received, and it's very heartfelt. It is truly heartfelt, wonderful advice. And I want kids to know, I think this is why I was getting back to earlier, like I was growing up, and I wish there was a show like this when I was growing up. I wish there was somewhere I could turn to and say, hey, look, there's someone like me, or someone who thinks like me, or I'm not the only one.
Sure.
That's
it's
huge.
so important to know you're not alone.
It is. It really is.
Whether you're dealing with anything in life,
Yeah.
the most important thing is to know that you're not
Thinking
alone.
you're alone can really be devastating. Yeah.
It is. And no human being on this planet should go through that. No human being should be
that's
alone.
true.
We
Yeah.
are all in this together.
Yeah, we really are.
And we do need to share love, amongst all of our communities, regardless of who you sleep with, where you came from, what your orientations or preferences are. We all need to love each other, love our planet, and be as positive as we can, because time is way too short as it is, and we don't
isn't
have
it?
enough of it.
It truly
We
is.
just don't.
It truly is.
I want to thank you so much for what you're doing and being a part of this production. It is important, and it is fascinating, and it is exciting, and I can't thank you enough again.
It is exciting, and thank you very much.
You bet. We'll be back with more Up for Discussion right after this. Stick around.
Ay, 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 ay. I am the frito bandido. Hey, I like fritos corn chips. I love them, I do. I want fritos corn chips. I'll get them from you.
Hey, how about a nice Hawaiian punch?
Sure.
How many licks does it take to get to the Tootsie Roll center of a Tootsie Pop?
Let's find out. 1, 2, 3, 3.
How many licks does it take to get to the Tootsie Roll center of a Tootsie Pop? The world may never know.
Some people have a deep, abiding respect for the natural beauty that was once this country. And some people don't. People start pollution. People can stop it.
Mamma mia, that's some beast. Cut. Spicy meatballs, Jack. Sorry.
Take 28.
Out, Tony, and action. Mamma mia, that's a spicy meatball. Cut. What was the matter with that? The accent. Huh? Cut. Cut. Micey, micey, ballsy, ballsy. Cut.
Take 59.
And action.
Sometimes you eat more than you should. And when it's spicy besides, Mamma Mia, do you need Alka-Seltzer?
Sooner or later, you're going to try a white owl. And when you do, we gotcha.
And now, back to Up for Discussion, right here on Para-Rock TV.
Very proud to be part of that project, and tough to find an individual as dedicated and motivated and as passionate about what he does as our friend Dale LePage.
Super talented, Dale. We love you.
Absolutely. We want to thank all of you for joining us on the show this week. And also, if you want to find out more about us, you can go to upfordiscussionlive.com. You can also find us on YouTube. We want to take a second to thank those folks over there at Bailey's Bar and Grill and also at Sasquatch Coffee for making possible what we do. We'll see you next week. Thanks for joining us.
Bye, guys.
Up for Discussion Live is brought to you in part by Rice Constable Service, Sasquatch Coffee, Shan Cakes, and Bailey's Bar and Grill.